Hey guys, Camfrey15 back out with another video for you guys, and I am back with another just anime seasonal review slash what I will watch slash review and what I'm looking for towards the next season of anime. Again, for new viewers, typically when the previous season is starting to end and it's starting to wind down, I basically already have a video in mind of what I'm going to basically talk about on the channel, what I will potentially review on the channel, and what I'll just probably watch on the side. Or if, if not, probably just not watch. Again, there's so many anime, that I know I'm behind, and with obviously my busy schedule, it's really freaking hard to watch everything. So some of these shows, I will see. Some of these shows, to be frankly honest, I'm not going to probably watch. But we'll see. But anyways, we have a good slate of fall of anime for 2025, but we are actually going to go back to summer of anime 2025, which, in my honest opinion, I thought it was definitely one of the most stacked seasons we've gotten in the year or just in any year in general. So I'm gonna go through the rundown, kind of give a quick brief, review of the shows and if I checked it out and stuff like that, and just my thoughts. So yes, Dawn to Dawn season two. Um, Me and my co-host have already finished reviewing all of season two, and season two was great. Season two was great. It definitely, the hype levels were definitely there, especially after that blue balls ending in season one. Now I know they kind of gave us another blue balled ending in season two, but see the difference compared to season one's ending compared to season two is season two, okay, it's interesting to see, all right, I'm interested to see where the next arc's gonna go, right? But the season one had me legitimately ticked off because I'm like, bro, they're literally putting our girl in a situation where she potentially could get R-worded, but luckily she didn't. But this show was great from beginning to end. The Evil Eye stuff was definitely, when it was building up to it with all the trailers, it was definitely worth the freaking wait. And man, it was so freaking good. It was so freaking good. So, I don't know when season three is going to come out for Dawn to Dawn. It hasn't, they only got an announcement. They never confirmed when it's going to air. So if you checked out my season finale review, I either said, it could come out in 2026, or if anything, the latest I say 2027. Personally, I would hope they wait till 2027 because the animators, they definitely freaking deserve it. They put on two back-to-back seasons that were just absolutely amazing. So honestly, they deserve a year off break, in my opinion. Next up, Kaiju number 8, season 2. I have been talking about this on the channel. I know I've been missing the last few episode reviews, but I believe when the um, season finale, or no, the second to last, or the next episode, because we're coming up on episode 10. I will definitely kind of do a batch of reviews in terms of everything that's been going on. But season 8 of Kaiju number 8 has been going crazy. Now, apparently, Kaiju number 8 isn't a like series. It was like beloved at first, and then I guess it fell off for some people, and people think it's absolutely mid. But I think every episode from a week to week basis has been phenomenal, which again continues to explain to me I don't know why people have these thoughts of why Kaiju number 8 sucks, but okay, that's their opinion, not mine. I think Kaiju number 8 is great. It's an A plus anime in my book, but according to other people, I guess not. Season two has just been amazing. The plot twist with Kikaro's father essentially kind of getting absorbed by the kaiju, bro. I'll talk more about this in my review, right? But that was crazy, and that was a crazy plot twist and everything. And they definitely set the stakes on for a crazy climax. I don't know how many seasons, the show would need to air to finish the story. Apparently, it's a short series, so, I definitely can't wait to see what the future is going to hold for whatever we got going on for season three, because I do believe we will get a season three. I guess we'll just wait to see. Next up, My Dress Up Darling season two. Again, this has been a season that we have been waiting for a very long time, and the wait has been 100% worth it, man. And the fact that next week will be the final, or this upcoming Saturday will be the final episode of My Dress Up Darling until we eventually get a season three announcement, which I do believe we will get a season three announcement. The show is very much popular. It's very widely liked. People love it for all the right reasons, even if it is for the gooner reasons, right? This show's just great, and mostly it's because of Marin Kitagawa. Um, I don't think I need to explain anything when it comes to this show. This show is just great. So if you have not checked out My Dress Up Darling, please do give it a chance. I understand it does have some gooner like type of fan servicey stuff, especially around the main female character, but it's just one of those shows that brings a smile, to anybody's face, and that's kind of thing. And then on top of it, I did get an autograph from the English dub voice actress of My Dress Up Darling, who plays Marin Kitagawa, Amelie. So I managed to actually meet her in person at Anime Impulse, the convention that happened a few weeks ago in Orange County, California. But it was definitely a great experience meeting her and getting her to to actually have an autograph of the Marin Kitagawa voice actress, even though it is the English dub. It was pretty cool. So, yes. All right. The Flagrant Flower blooms with dignity. So we're getting the second to last episode coming up this upcoming Saturday. Um, this show has been controversial just from the standpoint of how this show has been handled. And it's been handled pretty poorly because in Japan, they've been airing the show on their Netflix, weekly, right? But for the West and basically for the rest of the world, our Fragrant Flower Blooms of Dignity has been delayed, and it recently just came out for the rest of the world about I think a week or two ago, and it just goes to show you how bad Netflix has fumbled this show. They basically make the excuse of saying, well, we wanted the English dub to basically, or the dubs to come out at the same time of the sub version. Clearly Netflix delayed it because they couldn't handle it, and in a weird way it kind of killed the hype for this show, for people who haven't checked it out off a pirating website. Now, I've been reviewing this show on the channel mostly off of watching it off of pirated website because I really wanted to talk about it. But again, I've talked about it in its own videos when it comes to Netflix handling the animes. But I just really hate how Netflix handles anime sometimes. And it's one of these shows where it got unfairly delayed because, oh, we need to make sure this show needs to have a dub. Now, I'm a dub fan. I listen to English dubs over the sub version, right? Unless I have to go watch the sub version of a show. But it absolutely pisses me off that they show could not just do the whole crap of let's release the sub version and then a dub version could come out later in the year. Why? I have no clue. But this show has been amazing. The relationship between Rentaro and Wagari has been great. This is arguably a top three romance anime. I know I have a bunch of romance animes that I do love. My Dress Up Darling is also in my top three, but this show is definitely in my top three. It's so goated. If you haven't checked it out, please do. It's now officially on Netflix legally, so you can watch I think the first three episodes legally, but the next few episodes you got to go watch on a pirated website. So, yeah. I was reincarnated as Seven Prince, season two. I think I've only watched, I think, a bit of the first episode, but since then, I've kind of just been waiting for all the dub episodes to come out, so then I kind of binge the show. I watch it. It's a nice, funny show, but let's be honest. I realistically only watch the show for the maid character, Selpha, because, bro, she's hot as shit. What more needs to say? Sakamoto Days Part 2. Now, I know I haven't been reviewing the last few episodes of Sakamoto Days, and I think all of season 2 has concluded, or Part 2 is concluded. So at some point, I'm gonna have to go watch those episodes, review them. But Sakamoto Days has been, or season two, or part two has been great, man. It's been great, especially with Slur Sakamoto stuff. And again, just like I said with Kaiju number eight, this has been one of these shows that for whatever reason the regular anime community just goes out to shit on because it didn't live up to essentially what people thought it was going to be. Reminder, Sakamoto Days has been getting hate since part one of this show just because the fucking opening, people thought it looked bad. That's all that needs to be said. If you haven't seen Sakamoto Days, give it a chance. It's a really good show. It's a really good series. Um, and I just say, don't give a shit what the haters of this show say. They're entitled to their own opinions, but personally, I think they're just being a little bit too cuckoo, cuckoo. So, yeah. But anyways, that's kind of what I have to say there. Rising of the Shield Hero season four. The final episode is coming up next week. I actually just did a review about the last episode. And this show has been really good. This season has been really good. Again, just like with Kaiju number eight and Sakamoto Days, this has been a show that's been getting hate realistically dating back to season two. Again, I've said it many times before, I'll say it again. Yes, season two wasn't the best of seasons, and there was definitely ways to improve it. But seasons three and four have just been great. And anybody that says that Shield Hero sucks, I personally don't pay no mind and I don't listen to because I just think they're freaking hating because they think season one, albeit was just goated content. And again, I just kind of judge the modern day anime creators who kind of shit on Shield Hero, forcing people's opinions on the show, albeit it's fairly untrue. This season has been great, and where the show's headed in the season finale is it's something where I just can't wait for when this show is eventually going to be announced for season five, and I see Shield Hero haters be like, "Why does this show keep getting greenlit for another season? This show sucks." Well, it's simple because people keep watching it. It's good. It's a good series, and guess what? It's a series that makes a whole lot of money. That's why. So you can hate it all you want. Again, my opinion. If you don't like watching an anime you just don't enjoy watching, don't watch it. There you go. Haven't seen The Magician, so I can't say nothing about that. I'm a few episodes behind on Gachikuta, but Gachikuta has been absolutely amazing. It's one of those underrated shows. I know I only reviewed, I think, the first two episodes, and then I kind of just stopped watching it or stopped reviewing the show on the channel. But even if you go check out I think the first two, three episodes that I reviewed on the channel, it basically gives you a good, basis of how good this show is. This show's actually gonna be cutting into the back half or its back half is gonna be cutting into fall of anime 2024. But really great show. Really great show about basically a character getting thrown into this like trash pile or this slum area and basically having to live on his own and with his own group. So it's going crazy. One Piece, I know I'm a few episodes behind, especially on the reviews. But that's kind of the thing there. Rascal Does Not Dream of Santa Claus. I gotta catch up with that. I have not been watching that. I wholeheartedly am not gonna lie, I have not been watching that, and I need to catch up on that show because I know how good Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai is good. So yes. Apocalypse Bringer, Megaron. I heard that this is actually people actually think this is a really good show, so I'm definitely gonna have to check this show out and see what we got going on here. Call of the Night season two. I watched the first few episodes of the show. My co-host, who typically does reviews on the channel with me, definitely has said like this show's been going crazy. I got to catch up and watch the show. I definitely know of some of the thumbnails I see on High Dive. When it comes to the show, it seems like shit is getting real in this show. So I'm definitely excited to see where this show is going to go, and stuff like that. And then I also know that the English dub has recently also come out for this show as well on High Dive. So if you're a dub only fan, you can start watching this show on the dub. Secrets of the Silent Witch. It is one of those shows that honestly I kind of regret not talking about. It's actually a really good show about basically one of the strongest wizards in all of in all this anime's world, basically kind of going undercover into a school, and she comes across, a bunch of craziness that is happening and things like that. At the same time, she's also really shy, but it's also her kind of being a little bit more out of her comfort zone, but at the same time, having these crazy moments. Like one of the crazy moments in the show where there ended up actually being a crazy betrayal. I won't spoil it for those who haven't seen the show, but like it was actually kind of shocking. So yeah, but this show's got two more episodes to go before it, wraps up. But it's definitely a show I definitely request you check out. And I definitely do like the listening to the English dub of the show. Dr. Stone, Science Future, Part 2. It actually concluded. I'm recording this on Thursday night, so it actually concluded today. And man, what an amazing show from beginning to end. This chase, the chase away from Stanley to keep Zeno away from Stanley was crazy. And then the last few episodes, I know me and my co-host, we have to do a review talking about the last few episodes of Dr. Stone, but man, those last few episodes of Dr. Stone Core 2 were something where I just had my jaw dropping on the floor and I'm just like, bro, what? And then obviously you got today's episode, or the last episode of this part, with Suika and how that all happened, and then you get the conclusion to or the cliffhanger to that as we basically wait for 2026 to see the final part of how this story is going to end. Um, it definitely intrigues me to see where the story is going to end, and I'm definitely excited to see where it's going to end. And I definitely can't wait for more Dr. Stone. So you can best believe I'll be back for whenever part three comes back, which I think it's gonna be airing in the winter time, winter of anime 2026. So it's gonna be one season we gotta miss and wait, and then it'll be back, sooner than you know it. Scooped up by S. Rank Avenger. I have been watching this show off to the side. I think it's a solid show. Nothing too bad, nothing too good. It's kind of like the whole banished from a hero's party type of mindset, albeit main character doesn't really have any girls he's kind of shipped with. Even though I kind of do kind of ship him with the pink-haired girl, which is kind of the leader of the party, but that's just my opinion. So, it's a solid show. Nothing. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's a show that if you like these type of settings, you'll get a solid watch. Clevitus, which ended actually yesterday, on Wednesday. Man, I gotta still do a review. Closing out this. This is a show that got announced for season two. This show was absolutely amazing from beginning to end. This show was absolutely amazing. Um, Jesus, man, I enjoyed this show, bro. This show not only was really dark and gory, but this show and the characters are really damn good. Obviously, knowing me, I sent for Alicia because she's hot, but this show from beginning to end was crazy. And then that final battle against the main antagonist of the arc, Drell, bro, it was crazy. And when I do my review of that show, you already see the thumbnail of how gory that show can get, bro. This past episode, man, when I saw it was probably one of the most goriest deaths I've ever seen in anime straight up. Like, it was pretty gory. So check out my review for that when I get to that. So you can hear my thoughts on how that was and geez Louise. But really good show. If you haven't checked it out, please do. It's a really damn good show. Like, yo, I think you'll definitely like it. Grand Blue Dreaming, I gotta catch up. I think I'm still in season one. I know most people like the chicks in this show. They all are hot. I can't deny that, but it's a show that I'm gonna definitely have to catch up with. Witch Watch, it's actually going to be coming to an end in a few weeks, so I'm definitely going to have to. I'm behind. I think I'm just gonna just binge the dub. But again, the show's been solid. I don't know what's been going on in the back half of the show, but I do know the opening is a banger. The only thing I kind of know, with the exception of the back half, is kind of like, more miscellaneous stuff, and then realistically one of the girls, Nemu, is kind of, I guess they're setting up an angle where her and I think Keigo, when he goes into his wolf form or whatever, clearly have a thing going on. But Witch Watch is a good show. If you like it, check it out definitely. Couple of Cuckoos, season two. The final episode is going to be ending or airing next week. I'm watching the dub version, so I'm probably about two, three episodes behind. That's fine. If you want your typical, harem show, and stuff like that, you know, um, it's kind of your thing again. It's a guy who was switched at birth with the pigtailed girl, and basically he has to make his decision on, if he who he wants to marry. Like the last episode, even though watching dubbed, he finally realized like he does understand he's gonna have to marry one of the girls, and he's gonna have to eventually settle down and choose somebody between the four, even if one of the, even and essentially one of the four is basically a girl, which I think she's going to be the winner. The one that he's basically set up to marry, that they're engaged, a school person he's had a crush on, a childhood friend, and believe it or not, his not blood related sister, right, is a part of this harem and stuff like that. So, you know, it's fine for the most part. I know it is what it is. It's your typical weird harem plot line. Um, I do think, if this show gets a lot of like, if it was good enough to get a season two, I think it'll be get it. I think it's good enough to get a season three. Like for frick's sake, Rent a Girlfriend's getting 4 seasons, bro. So, I think a couple of cuckoos is gonna get another season. If it doesn't, I'll probably check out the manga, read it. I don't know if the series is concluded fully, and there's somebody out there that he already selected between Sagawa, Erica, Sachi, and I. But yeah, solid show. Nothing too bad, nothing too crazy. It may not be everybody's cup of tea, but yeah. Dealing with the Mikadono sisters is a breeze. I've been watching this show. Um, it's pretty cool. Yeah, well, I want to say it's pretty cool. It's again a regular romance show, a little with some tendencies. Realistically, they really haven't introduced the romance side. It's basically just about this boy who is the son of a famous actor. That just basically is kind of can't do nothing right or nothing good. He's not the best at anything, and he basically lives with the three most popular sisters in the school, and all these sisters clearly have a thing for him, and they all develop feelings for this guy. So the thing is, it's kind of one-sided at the moment. Like he hasn't shown any interest in any of the sisters. It's clear that all the sisters have feelings for him, and they try to hide it, but it's clear that they want him that kind of bad. I will say the one episode about their father who took him in after, because it's revealed like his mom passed away, right? And his whole promise to his mom that he would make a family or have a family, right? But I did think the plot twist with the fact that the daughter's the yeah, the daughter's father brought him in and kind of disowned him and said, "You're fucking nothing. Like you're nothing special, and you're only dragging my daughters down." That was kind of crazy because he was actually gonna kick his ass out the house. So that was kind of like that was kind of a crazy plot twist because the father kind of played off like, oh, I'm gonna be a nice guy to this kid and shit like that, and then he ended up becoming basically an absolute asshole. But yeah, that's kind of the thing there. Next up, as I clean up my eye, Token, Anki. I've only watched bits and pieces of the first episode, so it looks like a pretty cool premise. I gotta continue watching it to continue, so I can't say nothing else. Haven't watched Private Tutor to a Duke's Daughter. Haven't watched New Saga. I've been really slacking on this. I need to watch the Summer Hikari died. But it's something I need to catch up on. Haven't watched the Welcome to the Outcast restaurant. I still gotta watch To Be Hero X. I know my co-host has been telling me to get on that. Um, Jesus, I completely forgot. Sort of Demon Hunter. Well, actually, no, it didn't have 4 episodes, so I can't really talk about that. I already just spoke about that. I need to catch up with Rent a Girlfriend. I think I'm still on like somewhere on season two. But I know this is basically, I know this, I know people don't like this show because the main character is basically a beta male, but I got to catch up. And plus, I only watch this show because the girls are all hot, mostly the main girl. and stuff like that. And I know apparently I know in the manga it's like drama crazy stuff that it's like, people are dropping the show, but they keep reading the series to see what the hell's gonna happen next. But I still do think the main girl is going to win at the end. So yeah. There's no freaking way I'll be your lover unless blah 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 blah. Bro, I've been watching this show on a weekly basis. Now I think about 2 episodes behind on this show, bro. Look, man, if you're here for the Yuri stuff, hey, take it, man. Personally, I am okay with Yuri stuff content, right? This show is absolutely wild, bro. Now, I personally think if the main girl, Reniko, ends up hooking up with anybody, in my honest opinion, I'd rather her hook up with Ajisai, who's the brown-haired girl you see, or Satsuki, who's the black-haired girl. I think either one of those girls best benefit her the most. I can't really see up with the blue-haired girl because I rarely have any rare interaction. But Maya Doka, who's the blonde-haired chick, dude. If you haven't watched the show, bro, watch the first few episodes, bro. I don't even think like I think this girl is absolutely crazy. Like she has clear-cut feelings for our girl Reniko. But my God, bro, Mai is legitimately a crazy bitch. Like she legitimately at one point in the show damn near tried to I wouldn't say R word her onto our girl Reniko, but basically forced herself to like essentially go all the way with her. And I'm like, bro, this girl is crazy. Yet when I see Satsuki or Ajisai, like it's more of a freaking genuine relationship there, and I can tell, like, oh, you know what? Actually, I can see these two actually hooking up. She too crazy, bro. And she too possessive. And I really did like the fact that, at some point in the show, Reniko actually stood her ground and said, bro, I don't want this. Like, you're being too possessive and it's really freaking me out. So, whatever. This show is absolutely hilarious, bro. This show is absolutely hilarious. Season finale is coming up soon. I don't know if this show will get a season two or it's like one of those one hit season type of stuff, but hey, listen, if this show ends up getting another season, I'm completely down for it. So, yeah. Summer Pockets, show I gotta catch up on. Watchery Coon's Bleep is about to collapse. I've been watching a few episodes. I still got to catch up with that. The show is fine for the most part. It is interesting. I got to see where the show goes. Reborn as a Vending Machine. Season two. I got to watch the show again. I'm mostly watching this show because the main girl character Lamis is hot. So. Yeah. The Shy Hero and the Assassin Princesses. I want to check it out, see if it's, good or anything. Betrothed to My Sister's Ex is another really good romance show, another underrated romance show. About basically a girl who kind of gets disowned by her own family, right? Basically has to replace her sister who is dead, and she slowly but surely doesn't at first lighten up to the prince guy the prince essentially met her in a courtyard and mistook her for her name for her sister's name, right? And essentially it's, Marie's, you know, lightening up and getting used to this guy and essentially slowly but surely fall in love. I did like the last episode where she essentially like it looked like she was going to be done with him, but then she ended up realizing like no, this is truly something that I want and stuff like that. So the last episode is going to be coming up this I think tomorrow on Friday, so yeah. Haven't seen Ugly Mug Epic Fighter, so can't say nothing. Okay. Oh, Nukatashi, bro. Oh boy. This is one of these shows that I wholeheartedly wish I was talking about on the channel. My guy, listen, yo. If you have not seen this show, dude, first things first, this is a N18 show or TV Max show. Do not show this to your kids. Do not watch this if you still live with your parents, do not watch this, with the doors open and the volume up, bro. Because this is something where you probably watch on your phone, you put your earpods or your earbuds in, and you just watch it. Because this show is absolutely crazy, bro. And my honest opinion, this show is absolutely hentai, bro. This is like legitimately hentai on national TV. Literally, the premise of this show is this guy creates a group to take down legitimately people who live on this island, and all what happens on this island is people basically having sex out in the public. Like the episodes legitimately show you people legitimately getting it on in the public of the streets. Like one of the first episodes, like legitimately, he's introducing himself. The main character gets introduced to a few characters, and next thing you know, bell rings. Teacher's like, "All right, you can commence with the blah 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 blah," and then all of a sudden, you see girls getting bent over, dudes, doing the dirty with these girls, and these dudes are basically having sex in the classroom, and they're all getting it on. And then damn near every episode, at least you get one scene where you see either people doing it in the school, doing it in public, doing it on the streets, and the funny part is, the main guy's trying to resist all these urges to do it, and everything. I won't spoil anything if you want to check it out. But legitimately, I think the funniest part about this show is the innuendos in the words that they select, right? I'm not even repeat it because it's something that this video would probably just get taken down, even if this video is not being monetized. Like legitimately, like they use very crazy dialogue. Um, like when they say welcome, just if the SEX type of phrase for welcome, you get my point, right? I'll just leave it at that. That's the only like crazy word I'll just drop there. But you just have it to where other people, dude, they bleep it out, yes, but it's just absolutely crazy that I don't know whoever greenlit this freaking show to happen, but it's absolutely crazy, bro. This is probably the wildest anime to date in modern history. I don't think I've ever seen an anime would that look, we've had our animes where yes, like for example, Mukusho Tensei, right? We know they have some sex scenes in that show, but they don't really you only hear the background like moaning, or you don't see any like private areas of the man and the woman being shown, right? But in this show, no, they show it all, with the exception of the man body parts and the female like private genitalia areas, right? They clearly censor that stuff, right? But it's absolutely crazy that they go kind of all the way and you see it. You see characters getting it on and they're butt ass naked. I don't know if these 11 episodes will wrap up the series in its entirety. And look, you can call me a gooner, and you can call me a dirty bastard. I don't fucking care. If there's more story to tell, I honestly hope the show gets greenlit for a season two. I really do, because I would watch it. I would watch it. And maybe I would honestly review it too. So, yeah. Ruri rocks. I haven't checked it out, but people apparently are slipping for the black-haired girl. Apparently the black-haired girl is crazy thick. I'll check it out. Haven't seen With You in the Rain. I have watched Cultural Exchange with a Game Center Girl. It's a it's kind of a romance show, even though it's kind of clearly a college student, or it's kind of like a middle school girl that has a crush on a guy older than her. Clearly, the guy has no affection for her, right? And is just trying to show her the way. And it's kind of in the first episode, there's kind of a misunderstanding. But it's a cute, adorable show about this cute girl always going to this arcade and this guy showing her how to play the games and stuff like that. So, honestly, it's pretty cool. I think it's cool. Haven't seen Solo Camping for two. Detectives these days are crazy. I haven't seen it, but apparently the show is like fucking crazy. All right, and it's crazy hilarious. So maybe I'll go check it out. Haven't seen Arknight. Haven't seen the new Panty and Stocking show. Haven't seen Vengeance with You. Haven't seen Toilet Bound. Haven't seen Omi no Kaiten or Hell's Teacher. Trying to see. Okay, Bad Girl. I have watched this, right? I'm a few episodes behind on Bad Girl, right? Um, this show also kind of it's a comedy show, right? But I feel this show also does feel like it's also like the I'll only be your lover and everything. It's based on the main character, who's like a first year high school student. She's trying to get the attention of her basically of the student president or the class president, and it's clear that she kind of has some, I guess you can say some romantic feelings for the president, and she just wants the president to like her, mostly just be your friend, right? But she kind of does this act like this bad girl type of girl way, and it's clear the president is clearly messing with her, but it also does feel like she kind of does act like Mayadoka from, I'll Only Be Your Lover show, because it does feel like she kind of is possessive. But I think she's possessive in a funny way. Like it isn't overbearing. Like at one point, she kind of does call the main character like a puppy to me because clearly, girl just follows her all the steps of the way. It's a funny show. I definitely do enjoy it, right? It's a funny show. And yes, some of the girls, like the red haired and the green hair girl, they are thick and they do have some fan servicey scenes. So, look, man, if you want to have a funny comedic, maybe a little bit of fan service, hey, go check out Bad Girls. So, yeah, haven't seen City Animation, haven't seen April Showers, uh, haven't seen Dekimogura. I've only seen bits and pieces of See You Tomorrow at the Food Court. Um, I think it's a cool slice of life show from what I've seen. So I'll definitely check it out. Um, and if my freaking, I don't know why my, okay, there we go. I'm just wondering why is it doing that. Yaiba, I still got to catch up with that, and I think, no, no, no. Yeah, I haven't seen nine. Night of the Living Cat, bro. Dude, it's literally a parody of. Okay, and that'll probably the last thing because I think that's realistically it. Of all these shows, yeah, that's basically kind of it of all these main shows and stuff like that. So, yeah, but going back to Night of the Living Cat, bro. I've been watching this to the side, bro. There is no horror elements to this, right? Even though it says horror, right? It's absolutely hilarious, bro. Legitimately, this is a softcore parody of COVID-19. Now, it is kind of effed up that the production company is doing something similar to that, a basically a worldwide pandemic, especially a pandemic that actually killed people and people lost their lives in this pandemic. But the idea of this show and the reasoning behind it is a great idea. Like, well, there was this crazy pandemic that shut down the entire world. How about we do this for the show, but let's do a pandemic about cats. And essentially, the whole premise is, um, you know, basically there's a cat, pandemic outbreak where if you get touched by a cat, you turn into a cat. And the main characters have to avoid these cats at the same time, you know, make do with the people that they accompany with these groups, and also too trying to find a way to figure out a cure to fix everything, and find out why are people turning to cats, what started this pandemic, this outbreak and everything. So, yeah, honestly, I don't think it will get a season two, but I really do hope it's one of those shows that, hey, people in Japan especially, they did enjoy their time with, and it is good enough to get a season two. I definitely have to check and see if there's any source material after obviously the final episode airs. But this show has been absolutely hilarious. I watched the dub for this show, and the fact that Jason Douglas plays one of the characters, and funny enough, like one of the main characters he plays in Dragon Ball is an actual like naked cat, right? In Beerus. It makes it even more funny that he's the main character in a show revolving around fucking cats. So, definitely do check it out if you haven't seen it. It is a very funny show. So I'm gonna go on a quick break before I talk about the next season of anime, which is the fall season of anime. So I'll see you guys then. Okay, back. All right. Now we're going to go through the list of fall animes that are going to be coming out this year or for this fall of anime starting in a few weeks. One Punch Man season three. I have not seen the first two seasons, so I can't really say I'm going to watch the third season. Maybe I'll catch up and I'll watch One Punch Man at some point. Gachi Kuda is still continuing on into the back half of this season, so I'll continue to watch that. I'll continue to watch One Piece because it's good. Spy X Family season three. Again, it's one of those shows that I've been reviewing on the channel, so you best believe I'll be watching and reviewing Spy X Family season three. Another great show. Campfire Cooking Another World. It's got a season two. I guess it was good enough to get another season, but I didn't really watch the first season, so I can't really say anything. My Hero Academia, the final season. Um, this will be the final season of My Hero Academia for the main show. Vigilantes obviously is going to get a second season, but this season, or this show will end off the My Hero Academia main series once and for all, and the anime will obviously be over when it comes to the main characters in this show. Vigilantes will continue on, but for this is it. This will be the final season of a show that is really popular and it's been airing, for a very long time. I definitely can't wait to see how Studio Bones, animates and does the conclusion to this story. Because I already read the manga, I've already talked about the ending for the show. And I just definitely can't wait to hear the consensus thoughts of the anime community's thoughts of how the series ends. But all I can say in a non-spoiler way for people who are anime onlys, prepare to have your mind blown with where this how the series is going to end, especially that final fight between Deku and Shigaraki. And just enjoy the ride. And realistically, enjoy the last few weeks of absolutely new My Hero Academia content when it comes to Deku and his friends. Like, this is it. Once it's over, it's over. So this will be a show that me and my co-host will review together, and stuff like that. And it's gonna be very exciting to hear his thoughts on a show he's been watching, and he's been anime only, and I get to finally ask him how his thoughts of how this crazy good show finally came to a conclusion and his thoughts on the series ending. So yeah. Token Anki is continuing on. So yeah. Um my friend's little sister has it in for me. Okay. For a high schooler, Ataru Oboshi, the whole youthful experience thing, like fun, friendships, and even having a girlfriend, is a complete waste of time. So when his best friend's sister, Aroha Koninata, keeps teasing him, Akitaru naturally finds it annoying. She practically lives in his room. She's always on his bed. She's just a raging storm of clinginess. Why is she only around annoyingly around him? Oh, so it's one of those, I guess, teasing Master Takage's son, Nagatoro like animes where this girl clearly is teasing this boy because she clearly has feelings for him, and it's her only way to express those feelings because she doesn't feel confident in saying that, oh, I like her, or I like you, or she's trying to give hints to this guy that may be acting like an oblivious moron, and stuff like that of like, why is she teasing me? And and maybe will think like, oh, she's doing this because she hates me, but in reality, he's too dense to realize, no, she's doing this because she likes you. All right. Um, my status as an assassin obviously exceeds the hero. Seems pretty cool. Akira Oda feels like that's a combination of Akira Toriyama and Ichiro Oda's names, first and last names. And his high school classmates are summoned to another world while other students are gaining cheat abilities through summoning. Akira merely gains the abilities of a mediocre assassin. However, his status soon surpasses hero, the strongest profession. After Akira becomes suspicious of the king behind the summoning, he's falsely framed for a crime and forced to flee. Definitely looks like it could potentially give me Art for Weta vibes. Um, other stuff. I forgot what the other show was called, but kind of that type of thing. I don't know. It will be like kind of like a revenge type of thing where the main character is gonna have it against this king and just wants to get revenge, but we'll definitely see. Let This Grieving Soul retire season or part two. I didn't even know this show was getting a second part. I think I gotta watch. Well, I think I gotta watch the last few episodes of part one before getting into it. But I did like it. I did like it, even though the dude is a fucking lazy asshole. So there's that. To Your Eternity season three. I've yet to get into the previous two seasons, so I can't say much of that. Um, my gift level 9,999 unlimited gotcha. Backstabbed in a backwater dungeon. I'm out for revenge. Okay. God created races in the ancient times. Humans were the weakest, most ridiculed race among them. Light, a human boy, was fortunate enough to be invited to join a party of all nine races called the Assembly of Races. He was happy being a member for a while, but this was a short dream. His hopes were only to be betrayed by his fellow members at the largest, most heinous dungeon, Abyss. After surviving by himself at the bottom of Abyss, Light learns the true meaning of his gift. Unlimited gotcha. Light will rise from the worst despair to build his own empire of strongest players. Watch this incredible story of revenge unfold using the one and only gift, Unlimited Gotcha. Well, I guess that means if he was playing Zenless Zone Zero, he would get all the S ranks in this damn game. I wish I could do that case, so then I'd have to spend polychromes and master tapes. It's a high dive anime. I'll probably check it out. Probably not reviewing on the channel, but okay. May I ask for one final thing? Romance anime, another romance anime. Uh, an engagement broken off at a ball. It was supposed to be a cliche scene condemning a villainess. In the middle of a ball, second Prince Kyle unreasonably announces that he is canceling his engagement to Scarlet, a duke's daughter. Furthermore, he announces he has a new fiance and they make baseless accusations against Scarlet. Scarlet has endured years of torment from Kyle ever since they were young, all for the sake of their engagement, but she cannot hold back no longer. This is my final request. May I send this stupid bitch flying? Oh, a fair Duchess. Scarlet clenches her fists and dances. Maybe I'll check this out, review it on the channel if it's funny, bro. Clearly, if this character is calling girls bitches, well, okay, I'll check it out. I guess Watery Coon's bleep is about to collapse, is going on to season two. Tales of Wedding Ring season two. Yes, that show surprisingly got an announcement for season two. One of the shows I did not expect to get it. Obviously, I watched this show, on my own. I'm gonna watch it decide. I did watch the first season. I thought it was kind of crazy how this guy legitimately. It's one of these harem shows where actually the main protagonist, fuck it, he actually freaking marries all the girls. He's actually gonna marry all the girls he comes across. So at least this is a harem where he actually gets every girl. So honestly, if it's a harem show, personally, that makes it even better because it's just like, okay, then we're not gonna do the whole thing of, oh, is he gonna choose this girl? Is he gonna choose that girl? Is he gonna choose this girl? So yeah, and it's already explained in this show, like the main girl is gonna be his main interest, but he'll still show attention to the other girls. So I probably will watch this on my own time. I know I do have to rewatch the season one and all of the English dub. But you know, I think it's a fine show. It's definitely one of those shows where like you can literally skip and you're not missing anything. If this is your guilty pleasure show, fuck it, watch it. I don't know if going off the poster if things are gonna get crazy, but I guess we'll see. Looking off the poster, it looks like shit's going to get crazy. So I guess we'll see what's gonna happen in the season two. But yeah. Hero without class, who needs even skills? A high dive anime. In this world, um, A goddess bestows each person with a class and skills that will determine one life direction. Despite being born the son of the Sword Princess and an Archmaid, Ariel has not received class or skills. So Ariel must rely on his own grit, determination, and natural talents to pursue and achieve greatness, becoming a new kind of hero, a hero without class. Okay, I'll check it out. I'll see how it goes. I will say so far, with the exception of a few shows, outside of maybe the rerun shows, the season's not looking too good, in my opinion, outside of the top shows. So, but again, like I said, the good thing about these seasons is you can have some, realistically, some underrated shows where it's like, okay, this is underrated. Definitely go check it out. My Awkward Senpai. This definitely feels like my tiny senpai right over here. Uh Kanawa senpai is considered many things, but Smooth is definitely not one of them. She meets Kamigawa, her new kohai. He's cute, a little nerdy, and easy to talk to. How will this awkward senpai be able to handle these new feelings? I guess I'll check it out. It seems like a nice, funny romance show. Dad is a hero. Mom is a spirit. I am a reincarnator. Okay, now the premise actually sounds, the title sounds interesting. Fantasy Isekai Reverse Harem. Ellen, an 8-year-old girl and half spirit, once lived as a scientist in modern day Japan. Now she's been reincarnated into a new family. Roval, her family, and the kingdom's legendary hero, and Origin, her mother and queen of the spirits. On top of that, Ellen herself has the power to manipulate chemical elements, but are Ellen's powers enough to protect their family's happiness? I might have to check this show out. This show actually looks interesting. Banished court magician aims to become the strongest. So another banished from the hero's party thing. I guess that's the new trend because Banished from the Heroes Party did well. People like that show. Let's give it some more. Once a loyal court magician supporting the crown prince from behind the scenes, Alec Yugret is cast aside and exiled for only knowing support magic. But just as he hits rock bottom, he reunites with Yorha Ellensen, uh, Isense, a former comrade from the legendary party lasting period. Invited to rejoin the team that once made history, Alec returns to the dungeon exploration and begins a new chapter in his life. I'll have to check it out to see if it's good. Again, the typical band from a hero's party type of premise has been kind of simplified. So, you know, nothing really that's different. So, who knows? Who knows, right? This trope has kind of been going on the past few seasons, really since Banished from the Heroes Party became a thing. Um, the only slight difference in that show is they added the romance and element of Red and Writ. These other shows have just kind of been like, oh, you suck, yada yada yada, but and then main character finds a new party that he vibes with. Nothing different. Chitose is in the Ramune bottle. Being popular isn't easy. It's hard to beat Saku Chitose, the most popular kid in his high school. Check. An ironclad reputation that can weather even vicious online attacks. Check. A group of friends as attractive on the outside as they are inside. Check. But when a teacher asks for his help, bringing back a student who has been shut away in his room for months, Saku's perfect world will never be the same. What is this, some kind of normie harem story? Okay, another harem anime. Gatherer's Adventure in Isekai. Kamishiro Takeru is a completely ordinary salaryman who reincarnates in another world, full of swords and magic called Medeus, and starts his new Isekai life with lots of new skills. Takeru must make the most of his enhanced physical strength, unbelievable magic power, and searchability that allows him to find items worth, items of worth as his great Isekai journey begins. Interesting premise. Damn, another romance anime? Inexpressive Kashiwada and the expressive Uta. Uta? Kashiwada's son's face is a masterpiece of stoicism. Her classmate Uta-kun, a walking explosion of emotions, determined to crack her own calm with over-the-top antics. Spoiler, it's not working. But between his failed surprises and her secret smiles, the polar opposite classmates might just be into each other. Witness a rom-com where love speaks louder than expressions. So far, there's a lot of romance animes, and typically with me, I like to, at least if I'm talking romance, I typically pot talk two, maybe three in a season on the channel. We'll see. It's got to be like one of those shows. Once they drop, I got to see how good they are. Apparently, the show will be coming out in the next few seasons or the next few weeks. A wild last boss appeared. An MMO gamer awakens as Blackwing tyrant Lufus Malfal, rising from her sealed fate only to find this is very real. Her defeat 200 years ago unleashes monsters of death, and now and are death, and the legend is one of terror. Now trapped in the bodies of history's most feared conqueror, he must survive a world that wants her dead and uncover why he's here. Now this sounds like an interesting premise. I'll definitely check this show out. Maybe review it on the channel. Little Miss Vampire can't suck right. Pause. With cool, mysterious aura, transfer student Ishikawa Luna is already the most popular girl in class. Otori, on the other hand, is so average, he's practically a background character. The thought of ever speaking with Luna never even crossed his mind until he accidentally discovers her secret. She's a vampire who is absolutely terrible at sucking blood. Okay. Solo camping for two, I guess, is going into the back half of the season. Um, what's his face? The monster wants to eat me. I've come to devour you. Hinako is a girl who lives alone by the sea. One day, a mermaid girl named Shiori takes her hand and gently speaks to her. Hinako's flesh and blood are said to be exceptionally delicious, so much that it attracts countless monsters. Shiori vows to protect Hinako until Hinako matures and reaches her most perfect state, so that Shiori can devour her in the end. Okay. In that moment, a deep heartfelt hope wells up in Hinako's mind. Perhaps she can finally make my dream come true, and then. Seems interesting. Maybe I'll check it out. Seems interesting. Ranma 1.5 second season. Um, I watched the first half of the season. I love this show. This show is very funny. Sadly, it is a Netflix show, but they were pretty consistent when it comes to reviews for the show. So I'll definitely be watching this show on my own. I didn't review it on the channel, so yeah. Pass me the monster meat, milady. Any proper noble lady must cultivate refined taste, and Lady Mefera's delicacy of choice is monsters. Unfortunately, society frowns upon such unladylike cravings and brands her the boisterous villainess. At a banquet, she is attacked by a monster only to be saved by the feared blood-mad Duke. He's brutal, mysterious, and charming. Could he be the one to appreciate her monstrous appetite? Oh, kind of one of those type of animes. Mechanical Marie. He was a boy, she was a robot. Well, not in reality. In actuality, Marie is totally 100% human, but because her strange new employer seemingly despises humans, the powers that be are paying a handsome sum for her to pretend she's the latest, greatest android while protecting the eccentric master from seemingly endless attempts on his life, which is fine, but they forget to mention one tiny, seemingly insignificant detail. This dude absolutely dotes on the inanimate objects like Marie can't believe. She's not sure what will kill her first, the assassins or his affection. Okay. Cario Bed and Breakfast for the Spirits 2. I guess this is the second season. Okay. All right. Sonda. Um, in 2080, a proportion of children in Japan's population will just be 0.1%. The youngest members of the shrinking society are guarded like treasures. 14-year-old Kagoshige Sonda leads a sheltered life at least until his classmate Shiori Fumura asks him to admit one thing, that he is Santa Claus reborn. He should use his superpowers to help find her missing best friend. All he has to do is put on a red sweater and transform into his true form. Kazushige initially thinks it's a bad joke until Shiori Fuyumura pulls out a knife because blood also dyes clothes red. Sounds like an interesting story. I'll probably definitely check this show out and see what we got going on here. Dark History of Reincarnate Villainess, another villainess show. Konoha Sato's dark fictional past becomes a reality when she lands reincarnated in Ian Magnolia, the villainess of her own adolescent fantasy. Now, as a role, she meticulously designed to be despicable, remembering every last detail is a matter of life and death. Will she be able to rewrite her character's fate into something peaceful? Yeah, villainess shows. We've kind of been getting these as of late. We'll see how this one is. Maybe I review it, maybe I don't. We'll see. Don't touch Koto Sashi. Apparently, this is a harem sports anime. All these girls look like snacks, mostly the blonde one and that black-haired girl in the back. That black-haired girl in the black has big old bitties. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Wand Dance. Uh, oh, it's kind of like, oh, it's a dance anime. Gintama. Dust Beyond the End of the World. High Dive anime. When growing tensions around AI spark civil unrest, Akira is caught in the crossfire when he protects his girlfriend from an assassin's bullets. Hundreds of years later, he awakens from cryogenic sleep to an unfamiliar world. As he struggles to come to terms with his new reality, he bonds with an android called Yuguri, who bears an uncanny resemblance to his girlfriend. Now he must ask himself what love means, where in a world where technology has changed the very fabric of society. Now that sounds interesting. I think I need to check this show out and review it on the channel. Star Brighter Than the Sun, another romance show. Sai Iwata is slightly tougher than average girl, falls for the gentle smile of Koki Kamashiro, a delicate boy back in elementary school. By the time they enter junior high, Koki has grown into a charming, popular teen who now feels out of reach. When they are assigned to the sports festival committee together, Sai's long-hated first love begins to stir once more. Okay. Alma-chan wants to be a family. She's small, she's sweet, she's capable of obliterating a tank in under 3 seconds. Built by Angie and Suzume, two underappreciated genius scientists, Alma is the ultimate self-learning AI. There's just one thing. She thinks they're her mom and dad. Now, as an unexpected co-parents, the duo must hide their budding romantic feelings while taking on the messy experience of all family life. Okay, this sounds like this is gonna be a funny comedic romance show. I'll definitely check this show out. Um, Yano Kun's Ordinary Days, another romance school show. I don't think I need to explain it. Yeah, it's another romance show. Uma Musume Cinderella Grey Core 2. Okay, I know I gotta catch up with a few of Usume's shows. We're getting Isekai Quartet season 3. What the frick? Okay. Touring After the Apocalypse. Two young girls, Yoko and Ari, travel through the empty world of post-apocalyptic Japan. They photograph the scenery of famous places and camp out together in towns overtaken by nature. Together, they ride on Cero off-road motorbike and experience a new sense of freedom, unbothered by neither traffic nor traffic lights. The world is now over, so let's hop on a bike. So, are these like the two last remaining humans in this world? I guess that's what it sounds like. So. Maybe a nuclear bomb went off and they were the only two humans to stay alive. I guess we'll see. But all right. Maybe I'll probably watch that on my own time, but if it's interesting enough, I'll check it out. Okay. I know this show is fairly interesting. I've seen the trailers for some of this show, right? With you, our love will finally make it through. When high schooler Mari bumps into a fellow tardy student, she is surprised to find out he's a beast folk who's to attend her school. After all, it's not rare for beast folk to coexist alongside humans, but it's still uncommon. With the prejudice and all, nervous to meet one at first, Mari soon learns there's more to him than the furry exterior. In fact, the more she gets to know him, the more she finds herself drawn to him. His steadfastness, his kindness, kind-heartedness, and his and body. Are we gonna get? Whoa, are we getting frisky up in this show? Okay, look. I did see some of the trailers for this show. This show actually looks really good. So I think I'm actually going to talk about this. I know I've talked about there's many romance animes in this season, but I think I'm going to talk about this show because it definitely does seem pretty cool. I mean, seem like something that's nice and adorable. So I'm going to see what this is going to go like. All right. Um, I'm going to look down a bit more. Digimon Beat Break. Okay. Looks like these other ones are just regular stuff. Let me read this last line. Tojima wants to become a common writer. What is this? Fucking, is this another like go lose a ranger type of thing? The story follows Tanza Buro Tojima, a 40-year-old man who's enormously obsessed with the Common Rider franchise. Tojima is about to give up on his dream of becoming a hero until a chance encounter for Robert changes his fate forever. I'll probably check this out because it seems funny. So yeah. A mangaka's weirdly wonderful workplace. Futama, a no novice shoujo manga artist, is finally publishing her beloved shogi manga, Dear Subaru. But the stress makes her stomach hurt. She's forced to push the deadline to her first chapter, or yeah, for her first chapter, and she isn't making any progress on the storyboards. To top it off, she's gaining weight from midnight snacking and starts having wild delusions. Will Futami be able to enjoy her life as a manga artist? I'll probably check it out. Don't know if I'll review it, but yeah. Let's play. Samura Science Sam Young is developer in Los Angeles who's about to achieve her dreams with her first video game roommate. Until a popular streamer gives the game a scathing review. Even worse, Sam finds out the troublesome critic is now her new neighbor. Get lost in a comedic, romantic, all too real story about gaming, memes, and social anxiety. Come for the plot, stay for the doggo. Oh, because there's a cute dog there. I get it. All right. Maybe I'll check it out, maybe with my own time. But it definitely looks like there's a few shows that I'll definitely review on the channel. But it definitely does seem like One Punch Man, Gachikuta, My Hero, Spy X Family. I would say probably um, To Your Eternity is probably the main hit shows that people are gonna watch now. I will say, compared to the previous two seasons, well, the last few seasons of winter, spring, and summer, this definitely does feel like the weakest season of the 2025 year. But again, some of these shows may surprise you. Some of these shows may surprise me. It's always about if you have time, checking these animes out because you never know what could end up actually being very underrated. So yeah, but anyways, I'm gonna get out of here, guys. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts, hit that subscribe button if you want to get more. As I think I adjust my freaking camera shit. Do, 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 do. Yeah, okay. Yeah, as I was saying, put in the comment section your thoughts on some of the animes that I just talked about in this video for Fall of Anime 2025. If you have any requests that you say you want me to go out there and watch and say, hey, you definitely talked about this and you felt like you're not going to give it a chance, definitely do give it a chance and at least talk about it on the channel for a few weeks. Hey, I'm more than welcome to do that and everything because look, I want to see what the audience thinks and if I start to like it, I'll definitely talk about it. But definitely expect, like, for example, My Hero Academia to be up there again, and stuff like that. But anyways, I'm gonna go out for guys. Catch you guys in the next video. Till then, guys, stay safe out there. Have a great rest of your day or your night or when you're watching this video. Till then, guys, peace.